Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to y'all know what it is, the On the Hunt podcast show. This is season 2, episode 2. And of course, I got my guys with me, -1. So, we're not the 4 horsemen today. We're going to be the 3 musketeers. I got my guy with me, Easy E. How you feeling, man?
I am feeling fantastic, man, and I'm so excited to be doing another episode of the show. Obviously sad that Reggie can't be with us tonight, but I do want to congratulate Reggie on a new job, and that's why he's not here tonight. So, Reggie, I'm happy for you, my friend, and congratulations on getting that great job. I don't want to say where it is because then people are going to be asking for autographs and stuff. So, but Reggie, congratulations, my friend. Bobby Bless, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Shoot, man. It's easy for me to talk about the Detroit Lions every day. They ain't got to be playing, so I'm down with season 2 for sure. I'm doing good, man. How about you, brother?
It's going to be a great show, y'all. Like I said, we're doing this without our guy Reggie today. So we're not the 4 horsemen. Hey, we the 3 musketeers. So, but what we do got going on, Bobby, tell them, man, we do have a contest that's still going on, dog.
Yeah, man, we still trying to get rid of this Series 3 Apple Watch. We 22 subscribers away, man. It's close. We've been talking about this watch for months, ain't we? We got to put the S at the end now, right? But yeah, it's the Series 3 Apple Watch. It become your friend. I'm telling you, man. You'll be surprised how much you would use this during the course of the day. I remember being out of town. When you're out of town, you don't know where you're at for real. You don't know landmarks like you should, like you do when you're at home. I was looking for my car. I can go right to my Apple Watch and it shows me right where my car at. You know what I mean? It's your best friend, man, for real. Believe it or not. I was just at work arguing about who was the all-time leading assist person, in the NBA. Ask Siri, she popped it on the watch. Bobby was right. You know what I mean? So it's real cool. I got a group chat at work, and every time I make one of my activity goals or break one of my exercise move goals, as they call them, I know you know about this, Nate. I texted to my boss like, "Hey, man, you getting the peak performance up out of me today, and the watch don't lie." You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is something we just need more subscribers, and then as we get more subscribers, the gifts will get better. The stuff we do on the show will get better, and shoot, we'll be happier too, right? So we just about we need 22 more guys so we can find the winner of this watch. Like Nate always say, this ain't no stuff we had back in the closet and none of that stuff. This brand new, still with the cellophane on there and whatnot. It's just waiting for an owner, man. It's getting lonely because I got it up in the drawer.
Lonely.
Yeah, but this is our contest. I think we about to do what were we going to do? Inside the Den a little earlier this week, right?
Yes, sir. We about to head into our Inside the Den segment, y'all. So again, y'all know that segment's gonna be with me. But what we really about to talk about is the recognition our players have got, the recognition our team got, because for a long time, people weren't looking for our assistants. They weren't coming to the Lions trying to take our coaches. So first of all, we want to give a big heads up, man, to Deuce Staley. We're going to be sad to see him go for what he was doing with these running backs. But family is first, which is something that, hey, if y'all don't know, man, me and my guys, we have truly become a family. And we put things on hold to focus on family. If we all got something going on, hey, man, the show and stuff will be here. But it's all about the camaraderie. It's the checking up on you daily. So man, it's all about family, and a lot of people was mad about Deuce Staley, thinking he just left Deuce's mom, her health, and he's going to be in that Carolina area, so he's definitely going to be close to her. And so, hey,
anything a real man would do, anything a real man
gonna do, he gonna do what he got to do. But in his replacement, we do have a Mr. Scotty Montgomery. Scotty Montgomery comes to us from Indianapolis. He was very instrumental in helping Jonathan Taylor become a complete back. One of the things Jonathan Taylor struggled with coming from Wisconsin was pass blocking. He didn't have to pass block. He didn't even know how. Wisconsin keeps offensive linemen. So that was one of the struggles of him actually taking over that starting role and why he couldn't unseat Marlon Mack for that position. So Scotty Montgomery helped get him together, and hey, Marlon Mack became expendable, not just because of the injuries and his time, but just because, hey, we got a complete back.
Hey, big dog, I'm not even just jump in. When we be talking about evaluating running backs, what's the first thing that I always say? I say, I don't even want to see his highlights. Let me see him what?
He pass block. He got to be able to help protect that quarterback. He got to be able to pick up the blitz. And one of the things that our running backs do very well, they pick up the blitz. Like I say, man, these guys, they putting it down for Jared Goff. They're doing a very, very good job. So Scotty Montgomery is taking over that. He's coming to us from Indianapolis. A lot of people may say, well, wait a minute, does he have any other coaching experience? He was a head coach at his alma mater at Duke University. Then he was an offensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts. He also
he's super smart.
Man, Maryland, East Carolina. So he has a very vast coaching resume. He's a former wide receiver, so he also played. So he played at Duke, played in the NFL. So, he's, he knows between the ropes. And so, Scotty Montgomery's taking over that. Aaron Glenn. Some people was talking about Aaron Glenn didn't know how to coach and he shouldn't be coaching and he should have been fired. And look at this guy. Defense turned around after the removal of Arby Pleasant. And now he's actually one of the final coaches for Eli. What team is that? What team is he still in the hunt for? In the hunt.
So he is still in the hunt for the Colts job. And obviously I've got thoughts on this one and I got thoughts on Scotty too, whenever you're ready.
Exactly. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay. So as far as Scotty Montgomery is concerned, just to go back for a second, and I'm pretty sure whenever I get to Aaron Glenn, me and Nate and Bobby are all going to be thinking the same thing. So be ready for that moment on screen here, because that's usually what happens. But going back to Scotty Montgomery, I want to talk about his playing career for folks who are curious about, okay, most of our staff has, former NFL playing experience. Does he? Well, he does. He played for the Carolina Panthers back in 2000 as a practice squad member. He was a part of the Denver Broncos from 2000 to 2002. He was a part of the Oakland Raiders in 2003. And then in 2005, he played in the Arena Football League for the Georgia Force. And as a coach, just to give you his full resume here, because, hey, you know what? It's a big deal when you get this type of promotion, because that's exactly what this is. This is a huge promotion for Scotty Montgomery. So he went to Duke, obviously, as Nate said earlier. And then as a coach from 2006 to 2009, he was a wide receivers coach at Duke. And then he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers from 2010 to 2012. He was their wide receivers coach. Then he goes back to Duke and he's the associate head coach, offensive coordinator, passing game coordinator, and wide receivers coach. Basically,
he know his shit.
Listen,
he know his shit.
A lot of hats.
He know his shit.
For a former wide receiver, dude wore a lot of hats when it came to that coaching thing. Go ahead, Eli. Continue, brother.
The only thing he didn't do that year at Duke was line the field before the game. And then for Duke from 2014 to 2015, he was associate head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach. Now, if you don't follow Duke football, here's something that I don't want to derail us, but I do want to put this out there. Duke football in the early 2000s was okay. They were the poop emoji, and then they brought in David Cutcliffe, who was the guy who coached Eli Manning, coached Peyton Manning, and they started bringing their football program back. So when I'm mentioning that he's coaching for Duke during these time periods, he's coaching during a time of reemergence, of coming back into relevance for Duke. And that should be noted because that's a big deal for them. So
did he coach Daniel Jones? Did he coach Daniel Jones then? That would be yes then, right?
Based on what I'm seeing, I believe he did.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
I believe he did. So then from
He was sweet at Duke.
Then from 2016 to 2018, he was the head coach at East Carolina, not Duke, East Carolina. He was the head coach. He did have a 9-26 record, which I know for some folks, oh no, but remember, some of the best people to have in your ear as an associate head coach are people who have done the position before and had to struggle, because they know where those minefields are and they can help you better avoid them. Okay.
Right.
Obviously, I think that's a good pickup there. So then from 2019 to 2020, he was at Maryland. He was the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach. And then from 2021 to 2022, he was with the Indianapolis Colts as a running backs coach. And now he is with us here in Detroit. So you're getting somebody with a lot of experience in a lot of different positions. And why that's so important is NFL coaches nowadays are like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. They do not have time to be in every single meeting. They need somebody who can summarize what's going on with their team and tell them where they need to put their input, and elsewise they need to be able to put out fires. That's what that associate head coach does. So I think they got a good one in Scotty Montgomery. I'm very excited for him, very excited to see him get this promotion. So, and then I wanted to move on to Aaron Glenn, but I want to toss it over.
Yeah, just real quick about our new assistant coach, man. Once again, I just want to give a shout out to Dan Campbell, giving a brother a chance, because I'm thinking he ain't getting the chance from nobody else but the Lions. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, as far as being an associate coach. So Dan Campbell, once again, grooming a minority candidate or just a brother to get a chance to get out there and proceed in the job. And two, what you think? We did a joint practice with the coach. You think he won the job sometime in that joint practice?
I totally forgot about that joint practice. And
you think he won the job at the joint practice?
It could have been.
Campbell liked what he's seen. I'm pretty sure Campbell had to like what he's seen for him to, Campbell picked that guy, not Brad Holmes.
Even the coaching camaraderie, the coaching is the same way it is with the players. It's a brotherhood. All the coaches may not get along, like all the players may not get along, but there's always a familiarity with everybody. So, I also believe but just the way that Dan Campbell has built his staff, he wants people that, the guys can respect, because like you say, hey, my man he's a former wide receiver, but he coached the quarterbacks, the passing game, he's been over the wide receivers. When he was in Pittsburgh, he had Pro Bowlers Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace, Antoine Randall, who was technically on our staff as our wide receivers coach. Antonio Brown, Jericho Crotchery.
Man, Pittsburgh was a wide receiver factory for a good minute.
So he also still, he coached Hines Ward. So that shows that this guy has coached guys at a very high level. So when he comes in, there's no reason to question what he's telling you. When this guy comes in, you should be able to roll with it. Hey, he's telling me something that's going to make me better. He's been in his league. He's played in his league, regardless of what his success was. He still has played into the league, and he is respected enough to coach Pro Bowlers and have multiple jobs. So, to me, man, it's just another thing about Dan Campbell, keeping that same morale. If you're going to replace a Deuce Staley, You can't replace him with a guy who didn't play or, you know, a new college guy. You have to replace this guy with somebody who's just as good or better. You know, what Deuce Staley did in 1 year, man, or 2 years was very good. So now you replace him with a guy who has more experience in multiple positions, man. So to me, I think it is a very smart hire. Hopefully, things continue to move forward. Eli, what you think?
Yeah, Eli wanted to talk about Mr. Glenn. So
my bad. Okay. All right, so yeah, Eli, go ahead, and then we're going to get on Aaron Glenn, and then from Aaron Glenn, we'll discuss our new guy.
So just to wrap up the Scotty Montgomery situation there, I just want to say, I want to echo what Bobby said, because he literally took the words out of my head about Dan Campbell. You know, obviously it's one thing to do something one time, but when you start doing it over and over again, you start to show what type of person you are. And the fact that he's giving these opportunities to folks who might not have them in other organizations, I think is awesome. And I think that shows that he really means it when he's trying to be, you know, inclusive. So I think that's awesome. And also, let's not forget that he's not just handing out these positions. Scotty Montgomery earned this. You know, he through the ranks. He earned this job. This is not just Dan Campbell saying, "Oh, here, let me give this to you." He earned it, but Dan Campbell's the one that said, "You know what? You did earn it. I'm going to give you a chance to show all those things you've learned through your history of coaching." So I just think that's awesome. As far as Aaron Glenn is concerned, let me say this. Ain't it something funny when everybody wants your ass fired, and then when suddenly you're wanted by other teams, everybody says, no, don't leave us. Because that's all I'm seeing in all these Detroit Lions chats and Facebook groups is all these people who you can go back on their own profiles and see where they were talking crap about him 5 weeks ago. And now all of a sudden they're saying, I really hope he doesn't leave.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been seeing that too, big dog.
That switch up is kind of funny to me. Now, I've always supported Aaron Glenn. I was frustrated with the defense early on in the season, but I never said, you can go back and check the tape. I never said fire him, because I'm not that type of person. I don't call for anybody's job, nor would I want them to call for my job. So I'm happy for Aaron Glenn that he's being considered. My only issue, and I hesitate to even say this, but listen, I like to keep it real. My only concern is I don't think they're being legitimate with him. I don't think he's actually being these jobs. And
right.
I know that's a whole minefield in it of itself. But
yeah,
I mean,
they just filling the Rooney Rule, huh?
Well, he's been on so many interviews that it's like, are they really taking him seriously, or are these interviews 5-minute interviews where they're watching the clock go down, asking him random BS questions and saying, okay, that's your 5 minutes. We'll move on to somebody we actually want.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but I have to wonder that, because the Colts pulled that weird move last year where they pull a guy off ESPN to be their interim head coach instead of grabbing somebody from the coaching staff. So that's
right.
That. And for the Cardinals,
that is crazy. That is crazy.
And for the Cardinals, like I don't know, man. Like the Cardinals and the Texans were kind of in that same boat. And Bobby, I'm gonna toss it over to you because I don't want to be out of my depth with this, but the Texans have a history, at least a recent history anyway, of firing minority coaches after one season. They've done it twice. Arizona did that crap a few years ago. And I just feel like if I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm a little nervous about both of those organizations. Now, obviously, the Texans job, D'Amico Ryan's got it. I hope they give him more than 1 year. But if I'm Aaron Glenn going into these interviews, I'm looking at the track record of that organization, and I'm interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing me, because I don't want to be somewhere for 1 year and ruin my one opportunity to be a head coach in the league. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, I didn't think about it because until you said it. Like nothing against Mr. Glenn. I didn't think he was going to be a hot candidate out there. You know, let's be honest, with that Rooney Rule, they have no choice but to interview minority candidates. He could just be checking a box. I hate to say that because like Nate explained to me last week, in last week's episode, Nate explained to me that Aaron Glenn was the kind of coach that was okay with changing his defense. He wanted to make sure we win. You know what I mean? He wasn't stuck to one way of doing things. He was opening to do different defense, not just the other defense that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on. I don't want to take nothing from that, but I just want to just know that I do like Aaron Glenn, even though he was on the hot seat. He was hot for a minute as far as like people calling for his job or whatnot. He stayed professional. He didn't look like he was this. He didn't look like it was getting to him on the field, even though they was messing up. He wasn't showing up players or nothing. So I'm see Nate showed me that Aaron Glenn is the kind of coach you do want. Ain't the coach that can put his pride to the side and make sure we do what we need to do to win the game. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with working at a Walmart with a dude like that. You feel me? Put your pride aside, let's get this shit done. So anywhere in the world that'll work in a good business. So I won't, like you said, with the Rooney Rule, it kind of seemed like they're checking the box. But I just want to know Aaron Glenn would be a good head coach to me. He would be. So,
and I think he's more than earned the opportunity. I want to make sure I'm very clear about that. I think he's earned the opportunity. And I want to say hi to Luna, who is on the screen.
Hey, Luna. Look at.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
She like, what is it? Look at. No, you don't mess with the mic. She like.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Anyway.
Yeah.
But going back to Aaron Glenn, before I toss it over to Nate. I think he's more than earned the opportunity. And I think it's interesting that he has stayed on so long as far as these different rounds of interviews with the Colts. I don't think he'll get that job. I think the Colts are doing their due diligence, I guess you would say, to try to make sure they cover their ass because they know people are looking at them based on the weird thing they did last year where they pulled the guy off ESPN. And I know that guy is Jeff Saturday, and I know he's a Hall of Famer. I get all that, but like, he should not have been given that opportunity. There is no way that he should have been given that opportunity over the people on that staff who could have used that resume experience. But anyway, that's a subject for a different time. I'll be curious to see if he gets that job. I think he's back here in Detroit next year. That's my personal opinion. Nate, what do you think?
I'm actually, you know what? It's one of them damned if you do, damned if you don't things. Because I truthfully like Aaron Glenn. I like the way that he handles the guys. They have his respect. He has their respect. Our defense, I don't think it was just Aubrey Pleasant. Whatever Aaron Glenn did, if it was just going back, switching from that 4-2-5 back to the 4-3,
I'm just telling you, like you explained that to me, Nate. That made him seem like a real leader to me.
Yeah, and and he put it, like you say, he put his own ego to the side because a lot of coaches be like, "Look, it's my way or the highway. Either you fit in or you don't." And he switched that. He went from that 4-2-5. He went to that 4-3 against the teams that he needed to. And then he still utilized his 4-2-5 defense. And seeing the growth in him, dude, it makes you wonder like just how good of a defensive coordinator, that he can really be. I don't think that he's going to get a head coaching position, not because he isn't ready, or not to say he's not deserving. I think that he needs another year. They probably want to see another year of him running a defense. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude, you had an impressive, the second half of the season, the Lions went 8-2. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's completely crazy. We were in the bottom half of the league in every category. Even on third down, our third down still needed improvement, but our points against went down. Our yardage given up went down. The quarterback pressures was up. Quarterback hits was up. Time in the pocket was down. So, You
Guys
know,
running scot free through the damn defense was down.
man,
All
yeah.
that shit. I remember.
He got
God
away from
damn.
that. He got away from that zero blitz, that was getting us killed, especially against Miami. And dog, every time he went to that all-out blitz, dog, it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown, man. Every so I'm glad he got away from that, but it's good, man. So big ups to Aaron Glenn, whichever way he go, may God bless him. All right. So now let's head to that guy, that former Lion, former Pro Bowler. We all loved him. Hey, we called him a gambling man for a long time because that's how he played the position, as a gambler. And out of nowhere, an unexpected hire comes Dre Bly, a guy I hooped with, out at the YMCA in Farmington a whole bunch of times. So for a lot of people who may not know what his coaching part looked like, we're going to go ahead and let Elijah take over that. Elijah, bring people up to speed with what Mr. Bly has been doing since he left the Lions, if you would, sir.
Yes, I can. So just give me 1 second while I pull that up. So for Dre Bly, as a coach for North Carolina, from 2019 to 2022, he's been the cornerbacks coach over there for North Carolina. And now he's coming to the Detroit Lions as their cornerbacks coach. So that is his brief history as a coach. But just to remind folks, he is a Super Bowl champion. He was a two-time Pro Bowler in 2003 and 2004. He was the NFL fumble return yards leader in 2003. He was a part of the St. Louis Rams 10th anniversary team. He was ACC Rookie of the Year in 1996, a two-time consensus All-American in 96 and 97. I was still playing with Power Rangers back then. And he is one of the few players in college football to actually have their jersey retired. And that is a situation.
Supposed to lick my lip.
I figured I'd throw in some of those extracurriculars there because some people might say, oh, so he was only with Carolina for a little bit and now he makes the jump to the NFL. But hey, I'm always happy to have former Lions in the building. And I'll admit on this topic, I kind of got to take a back seat because I did not become a Lions fan until Calvin Johnson was drafted. So I know a little bit about Dre Bly, but I don't know a lot about him. So Nate?
Well, one of the things about Dre Bly, retired from the NFL, he also has 43 career interceptions. Now, just to let you know just how crazy that is, the number one guy has 71. So Dre Bly played that cornerback position, very good. Very good, very good. So it's going to be interesting to see how he has developed as a coach. But, again, he's back to that era where we had the black jerseys. So, hey, you can't do nothing but love and respect that. Bobby, what you think about Mr. Bly coming?
Man, it's just one of the guys I remember. You know what I mean? Even though Elijah was talking about he was playing with the Power Rangers, I'm still watching them too. I ain't that damn old. But anyway, make a long story short, Dre Bly is a guy that I definitely remember. Around when Joey Harrington was our quarterback and Matt Miller and stuff. But I remember him getting burnt a lot. But like you said, he was a gambler, but he made some plays in this league. He far from a bum. And it's just like he gonna be at home because it's just, like me and Elijah just said.
I think he made the Pro Bowl twice as a Lion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He was cool. But it just goes to Dan Campbell. Once again, like Elijah said, he ain't got that much coaching experience. Just another guy that probably wouldn't got this opportunity. Mm-hmm. Dan Campbell letting him in. You know what I mean? So Dan Campbell, that dude, man. He my guy. And Dre Bly, I'm just pleasantly surprised to see what he can do because them young guys can actually nothing against Pleasant or nothing like that. You got a guy that can show you what he did. Like, hey, you can listen to this one. So just having a guy back there that played the position, I think that's going to help Okuda. I mean, play the position at an all-pro level or Pro Bowl level, however you want to give his accolades, is a blessing because we young. So we need somebody that can keep these young dudes' attention. And a guy like Dre Bly is got the kind of name where he can do that. So I'm okay with that, honestly.
All right. Now, as we know, we had 4 guys that made it to the Pro Bowl. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who actually wins the best catch competition at the Pro Bowl, continue to put people on notice. We had Jared Goff. We also had our guy, Penei Sewell, and Jared Goff. But nobody got more praise.
No, you forgot Ragnar.
And Ragnar, my bad. But nobody got more praise than Amon-Ra, the Sun God, St. Brown, and Penei. Man, did y'all see Penei? Did y'all see Penei out there running that doggone obstacle course? Man, he had to blow through the wall.
No.
Dog.
I'm gonna go look at that.
They always like, man. Hey, they was like, that's a big man and he's moving. Look at So Penei went out there and showed out, man. Amon-Ra showed the different variations, man, of him catching the ball. Whether he was doing a backflip while catching the ball, somersault, catching the ball, diving through the
I
pool.
Seen that. He was staring that ball down. He's staring.
Yeah.
His eyes is on that thing, man. He don't play, man. He's serious.
So, man. So it was good, man. Just to see our guys out there having fun and hearing the commentators talk about how scary the Lions were coming on at the end of the year and how they said, hey, I know it's some teams that was happy them guys did not get into that playoff.
Yeah.
So what we about to do now, y'all, for everybody that's checking in, we finna take y'all back. We call it back down memory lane. Back down memory lane. So for the people that don't know,
back into time.
Right. Oh man, our historic Lions, man. We had 4 titles, man. Our first championship, rather, was in 1935, where we were the kings of the NFL West Division. We won it in 35, 52, 53, and 57. So I'm going to go ahead and hand that over to our guy, Mr. Eli Winfrey.
Oh man, you really outdid yourself on that one. 1935. Okay, 1935. We actually have some footage here on the screen for you that we're going to play while I talk about this. You're going to see players in slow motion, and that's on purpose. So here's the deal. The first Lions championship, again, 1935. The weather in Detroit for the game was gray, wet, and windy, and the field at the University of Detroit's Titan Stadium was sloppy. The Lions took the opening kickoff and drove the field for a touchdown. They were helped by two long passing plays, including one from Ace Gakowski that hit Ed Danikowski playing defense in the chest and was caught by end Ed Klowelke.
Damn.
A 61-yard drive with a 2-yard touchdown run, and Glenn Presnell kicked the extra point for the 7-0 lead. After the Lions scored another touchdown on a twisting 40-yard run by Dutch Clark, Detroit had a 13-0 lead. But the Giants cut the lead to 6 by halftime on a long pass from Danikowski to Ken Strong. However, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter by Ernie Cadell and future Lions coach Buddy Parker sealed the 26-7 victory and their first NFL championship for the Lions. Something interesting happened. When the Lions won the 1935 NFL championship, the city of Detroit was mired in the Great Depression, which had hit Detroit and its industries particularly hard. But with the success of the Lions and other Detroit teams and athletes in 1935 to 1936, their luck appeared to be changing as the city was dubbed the City of Champions. The Detroit Tigers started the winning streak by capturing the 1935 World Series. The Lions continued the streak by winning the 1935 NFL Championship, and they were followed by the Detroit Red Wings winning the 1935 and 1936 Stanley Cup. With the Stanley Cup win on April 11, 1936, Detroit reigned as triple Major League champions for nearly 6 months until the Yankees clinched the 1936 World Series on October 6th. No city has ruled as champions of 3 major sports simultaneously since. And that is what we got as far as your history lesson. And the one
Whoa,
thing
Nelly. Whoa, Nelly.
I dare anybody to try to figure out what team is the Lions on this screen right now, because
Man, that team in the dark color, he's the team with the all dark jerseys, no stripes on there. Gotta be, because they the ones smacking. They the ones smacking.
but again,
The eye in the sky don't lie, right? Can't be. They the ones hitting.
But again, 1935, that is that first NFL championship game. And this is something that we're going to be doing throughout season 2, is kind of reminding you a little bit about our history, because it is very important to remember where you came from so that you know where you're going. So that's going to do it for the history segment. I wanted to be brief with it. And there you go. First Lions championship, 1935, a 26-7 win over those New York Giants. So there you go.
Good job, Elijah. I liked that.
And yeah, so Bobby, what do you think of that, my friend? Because I know you're all about when the Lions are winning. So what do you think about that 1935 championship?
Man, if I'm anything, if Bobby 1935 is anything like Bobby 2023, they would have to take my damn keys. I'd have been trying to kick it and party with that one. But man, it just seemed like a different time, man. A different kind of football to actually see guys out there that's, to be honest with you, not they small looking compared. It just show you how much football have evolved. You know what I mean? And to be honest, like I guess I didn't even think about, it's the Great Depression, and you know how sports take people mind off of real life, right?
Right.
So everybody going through that, them guys was out there more than playing football. Them guys was out there trying to entertain a group of people that was going through a lot everywhere, And the thing about how you said the first time, no other city has had all the teams win a championship simultaneously. That's just something I didn't know. So that was pretty interesting.
I didn't know that either.
I heard a lot of Polish names for Bukowskis, and I couldn't understand some of them damn names, but I feel like hey, I learned a little something. I'm amazed where did you find the damn footage from, brother?
So I actually found it up on YouTube, which was super convenient. A lot of times you can actually find quite a bit, not to make a YouTube commercial here, but like a lot of times you can find a lot of cool stuff on YouTube as far as the old games are concerned. So a lot of times I like to go back and do that and go back and look here. I'm hoping that this screen will adjust here so that I can actually show you what I'm looking at, because right now it looks blurry as hell. So
it's a little blurry.
I might need to reload this page here. So give me a second, guys, as I do that. But I did pull up the 1935 schedule here because I thought it might be interesting to look at. So I don't think it's going to let me share this.
Well, you're going to have to read it to us, big dog. Read it.
There we go. Finally, here we go.
Yeah, it got better.
So I'm just going to go through this real quick, guys. As you can see, all the scores on the screen. I'm just going to go down this list here because now it's not clear again. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to go down the list here while you guys are talking with me here, and we'll go down this list together. So as far as the schedule is concerned for 1935, I'll be brief on this. It looks like the Detroit Lions ended up beating the Philadelphia Eagles for the first game of the season, 35-0. And then they tied with the Chicago Cardinals 10-10. And then they ended up losing to the Brooklyn Dodgers by a score of 12-10.
Baseball team? The fuck?
They ended up beating the Boston Redskins, which is what they were called back then, 17-7. They lost to the Green Bay Packers 13-9. And then they ended up beating Boston when they played them again 14-0. They ended up beating
my wife hear that.
Say what?
Man,
I said, don't let
we
Bobby
ain't about to
Price.
go. We ain't about to talk about the shit from the 30s, dog. She got all that.
She'll be like, we've been beating y'all ass for a long time.
So they ended up.
I want to tell her, but I know she talked too much shit. I don't feel like hearing that shit right now.
Oh boy. So they ended up beating the Cardinals.
When the Lions won their first championship in 1935, they still lost to the Packers.
Oh my God. Okay, here we go. So Chicago Cardinals, they ended up beating them 7-6. Then they lost to the Green Bay Packers 31-7. Then
they swept us.
Then they beat the Green Bay Packers by a score.
We played them 3 times.
We did 20-10. Then they ended up tying the Chicago Bears 20-20.
It was 2 Chicago teams.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we had the Chicago Cardinals, right?
Yeah, and the Chicago Bears. So they tied Chicago the first time they played them, 2020, and then they beat Chicago 14-2. And then to end the regular season, they ended up beating the Brooklyn Dodgers 28-0. And then that's when they went and they played in the NFL championship game, and they beat the New York Giants, as we talked about earlier, 26-7. And I'm just going to see if I can't find any stats here, because I know Reggie would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So let's see here as I try to pull that up. We'll see if I can't find some stats here for this 35 Lions team. And actually, surprisingly, they do have stats. That's awesome. So Dutch Clark, 120 attempts rushing for 427 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Wait a minute. Wait. Is that for the season?
That's for the season. That's for the season.
Elijah, you dirty for that. You did that on purpose, man. He did that on purpose.
And I'm trying to see if there's any passing stats. I don't see any, probably because they didn't do much of that. But anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of that 1935 team. Again, they were champions. And as I read for you, they were the, they were the continuation of teams in Detroit winning championships. And that's pretty cool that, nobody else has done that since, where in the 3 major sports, have all 3 of those teams from your city winning a title that year. That's pretty cool stuff. So
party like it's 1935.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to head into Merch Alert with Bobby Bless. So Bobby's actually going to share a screen. And Bobby, I'm going to pin you so that you can tell us what's going on. And what's up, my friend?
Okay, just give me a second, man, to go through this, man.
It's a surprise, y'all. It's a surprise.
Okay. I know you guys heard we probably about to get new uniforms. So that had me thinking, man, dang, how many different uniforms have we had? What do they look like? I know the ones that I like. I know the ones I don't like. I know the ones everybody, I know the ones that got me to love this team. You know what I mean? So I thought me and Elijah, we thought it'd be good to come up, to look at all these uniforms through the past. So we found us a good website. I'm not familiar with it, but I guess it's heritagesports.com or something like that. But right now we're just gonna go ahead and start scrolling through here. This is our first jersey. This is the championship jersey right here, Elijah. This is what they was wearing in 1935 when they won the whole thing. And that's how I knew.
Thanksgiving jersey.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. That's how I knew which team was which too, Elijah. Just to be full disclosure, because they didn't have no stripes on their shoulders. But from what I'm looking at, they talk about how the Lions got to Detroit. They were brought by a radio station or something like that. George Radio Station, Plymouth. Oh, okay. A guy from Plymouth, Ohio, was a radio guy or something like that. And I'm assuming that he brought the Lions for $8,000. Lord have mercy. Yeah. And it's just more of what Elijah just was talking about, honestly, with that jersey. So just talking about the heritage and who they won and lost to. So we're gonna scoot past that. So I guess
I ain't
3 years later.
never seen nobody wear number 41 that I can remember.
No, nope. Nah, think about it. No. So this is
Yeah, number.
this 1938. I guess these are watercolor painting. So I wonder where excuse me. That's interesting to see where that exists. If that painting do exist, I bet that's probably worth a real penny.
I wonder.
Now this is.
Are they able to? Are these jerseys able to be bought? Do they say, hey, that any of these replicas?
They not even really pictures. These drawings, big dog. So I'm assuming they couldn't get to the real thing, or they would have been trying to show that. But this interests me a lot. In 1948, we had red jerseys.
Right.
Yeah, that was interesting. That threw me off for a loop. So everybody that be talking shit about my red Detroit Lions hat, I'm commemorating the 1948 team. God, you know what? So anyway,
so Bobby, real quick, just want to throw this note out here. If you can scroll down for me, just a little bit more, if you can.
Down or up?
Here, down, just a little bit more.
Okay.
All right, perfect, right there. It says, as shown here, the Detroit Lions wore red jerseys for a short period of time in 1948, 1949. The radical departure was thanks to Lions' new coach shortly after a syndicate headed by Edwin J. Anderson purchased the Detroit franchise in 1948. Alvin Bo McMillan, a successful coach at Indiana University, was named head coach and general manager. One of McMillan's first acts in his new duties was to change the color of the Lions game uniforms. According to the 1948 Detroit Lions media guide, he did just that and brought Indiana's color scheme with him.
Ooh, I know they were mad as hell. I knew they were mad as hell, man.
Continue on, Bobby.
I got you, brother. Here I come.
Dirty as shit.
McMillan
is sweet.
Always screwing us over.
No, yeah, the Millans. If they Millans, stay away. So they said radical departure. They got rid of him.
The uniforms were a radical departure from blue to red.
Oh, okay. I got it. And they said something about Notre Dame or something. However, the Lions did not fare well in 1948. Oh, they only finished 2-10 in 1948. I know they was ready to burn them damn things. What? So
hey, they didn't go 0-16 in 48.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Nate, that's tough. Man, I'm about to skip through these old ones, man. I'm about to go to where I like it, man. Nothing against there. This the one I remember the most. This is the one they won in '91 when they got to the NFC Championship, and I remember this plain as day because I used to want the Rodney Peete jersey because at the time Rodney Peete was they started quarterback before Kramer had got up in there. But I remember I was wanting the Rodney Peete jersey, number 9. And I just thought it was just amazing that the Lions had a black quarterback. This is one thing that drew me to them also. I used to think it was so amazing that the Lions had a black quarterback and they was in Detroit. But I remember this. That's the last time we won a playoff game in them jerseys, right?
Yep.
Let's see what's going on. I remember this one. And the main reason I remember that because that 75 on the patch.
Mm-hmm.
That 75 patch on there, man. That's the I remember Barry Sanders clowning on somebody. Was that Thanksgiving? Was it like the Bears or somebody?
Yep. It was.
Destroyed them in that jersey. I remember that. Let's see. Where are these from? 99. See, now I remember 99, but I didn't know. You couldn't tell me that they changed their jerseys. That don't look that different to me. From what they was using. So that threw me for a loop. And then like I remember these too, but like some of them is close now. These the ones I remember because these the ones that open like when they was saying they was building us a new stadium, and these the Matt Dillon jerseys.
Ironically, Hey, if you put a 32, it's the Dre Bly jersey.
You're right. Yeah. Hey, I remember seeing a million of them back in the day. Them Dre Bly jerseys. And what was my other dude that was on there? Remember my dude? What's his name? He was a receiver. Fury. He had caught like 100 balls.
Yeah. Mike Furry.
Yeah, he was a beast too. But I used to like him. Let's see. They didn't really even show the black ones. You know, the black Matt Miller ones. They didn't show them. So they shorted the side of some of these, Elijah. But it's just interesting to see because I purchased a couple jerseys this year thinking I'm gonna have them for a while, but shoot, now they changing the jerseys up. I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to buy some more. I'm gonna have to do something different. So
Bobby,
that's the history. Yeah.
If we are in fact getting new jerseys, which I believe we are, what do you want to see from them? I mean, you're the merch guy, so what are you hoping for based on what
do you want some changes? If you could do your perfect jersey.
It's more of what I don't want to see.
Okay.
I don't want to see one pride on the jersey. I always thought that was a little too corny for me. And I don't want to see no L, because you know they sell them damn hats with just the L right there on there, and I don't want to see none of that shit on there either. So no, my wife said she's gonna give me one of them Lions hat with the L on there for my birthday. No, I don't want none of them. So as long as they don't have the single letter L anywhere, I'm good with it, because I'm probably gonna buy it. The L do not stand for Lions to me. But anyway. But to make a long story short, man, they probably really when it comes to this Lion merchandise, I'm easy to please, man. I'm probably gonna buy it no matter what. But I have not brought one hat with that damn one letter L or one pride on it. I just thought that was just a little bit too cheesy for me, man. But
so I personally, and I know I'm not the merch guy, but personally, I would love to see them go back to something that's similar to that 2000s jersey. If you can scroll up just a little bit.
Oh, I know which ones you're talking about.
So I would like to see them go back to something like, the 1999 jersey or the 2000, something like that. And I've actually seen a lot of people on Twitter, because there's a lot of people who do like graphic art, just for fun, to show teams what they could do. And a lot of the
they call them concepts. They call them concepts. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
A lot of that concept art that's being made right now for Detroit Lions, just by fans and people who are really talented at that stuff. It's them going back to that 99, 2000 type uniform. And I would be okay with that. I mean, obviously I came in as a Lions fan with something similar to that 2003 uniform. And I also had the black Calvin Johnson jersey because I loved it.
Everybody did. Who didn't?
My only fear with having the black jersey is then we're kind of like the Carolina Panthers, a little too much. But for me, I like the 99. I like the 2000. I just want to win. I don't care if they're out there in just their pajamas. As long as we win, I'm good with it. I will say that I would fully expect the William Clay Ford patch to be whatever it is they do. So if you're not a fan of the patch, I would just say get over it, because it's probably going to be on there. But one thing I don't like the racing stripes that go across the top of our helmet right now. Those blue stripes, I don't like those. So if they could go back to just the one stripe, I think that would look better. But that's my opinion. Nate, do you got an opinion on it?
No L's. That's all I got to say. No L's. I don't want to see no single L nowhere on their socks or nothing. No. So I'll be mad. I will be mad.
So as always, Bobby Bless, a great job on the Merch Alert segment. And
thank you, brother.
There is a game this weekend, and I'm sure a lot of us will be watching it. So we're going to give you some predictions here. Super Bowl Sunday. It's the Eagles. It's the Chiefs. It's a big game. Nate, who do you got and why do you got them?
Kansas City. Plain and simple. You got my homie. Like, people thought that taken by Tyreek Hill leaving, this offense would take a hit. who knew that he would get better by losing one of the best, if not the best, deep threat in the league? He got better. Like, that's unheard of. So, I mean, man, listen, and I think it is going to be a battle of the defense, because it's the first time you're going to have, when it comes about defenses, the 2 sack leaders in the regular season. You know, both of these guys are 1 and 2 in sacks. Eagles put up an insane amount of 70. Like,
Damn.
that's you know, Kansas City had 50 something, but they were second. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm rolling with Kansas City, man. I don't, you gotta beat Mahomes. In order to beat a guy, you have to beat the guy in order to get there. And right now, Mahomes is that top guy. So I'm rolling with my homie.
Bobby Bless, who do you got?
Well, I hate to ride the fence, but this is how I'm gonna say it though. When I'm picking a team, I pick the team I want to win, and I pick the team I put my money on. I want the Eagles to win, but I'm putting my money on the Kansas City Chiefs if I got to, right? Yeah, man, because I want Jalen Hurts to win, but if I got to bet the rent, I'm giving it to Mahomes. You feel me? Oh, see, my wife said I better bet on Mahomes. But no, but on some real stuff, man, I think it's interesting. Like Nate was saying that that he lost Tyreek Hill and got better. But the thing that cracks me up is Andy Reid innovation. You know what I mean? It don't matter what pieces he got. He always doing something different. And the thing I like he doing more 3 tight end sets that I seen. Like that's just amazing, because when you think of Kansas City, you think of passing, 4 wide receiver, shotgun, but he in 3 tight end sets. And another thing that amazes me about Kansas City, they got a lot of rookies that actually play. You know what I mean? And they probably gonna be good for years. They're gonna be good for years, because they actually like one of the teams with the most rookie contributors. And then I also feel Mahomes got pressure on him because he there all the time. He up in there, but he only got 1. You know what I mean? So he got to get 2. You know, or they're gonna start getting on him. So he got to get 2 because they don't want him losing too many dang on Super Bowls. But but if you losing, you ain't winning. Shit. Yeah, but as you can see, that's a big debate in my house for real. But yeah, I figured like
Elijah, it turned into a segment of All in the Family.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, until you get you a wife that will argue with you about 3rd down percentages, you ain't in love. I'm telling you, no. But make a long story short, yeah, man, I just like, if I had to bet my money, it's Kansas City because they got Andy Reid, they got the innovation. But it would be nice to see Jalen Hurts win a Super Bowl after they asking this boy to be a damn wide receiver and a running back a couple years ago. So that's where I'm going with it. So my score would be 34-31 Kansas City, because the Eagles can run that ball too. So
Nate, your score? He's thinking real hard. You can see the steam and the wheels.
It's gonna be a good game, man, because I don't think it's gonna be no blowout.
35-28.
Kansas City.
Okay. All right, so I guess it's on me now, right? So here's the deal. Earlier today, I didn't feel quite right, and I was looking it up online, and luckily it's nothing serious. But here's the deal. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. but man, does it hurt so good. I am picking the Eagles to win this game. I had to work it in there somewhere. Hurts so good. Eagles are going to win this contest. And here's the deal. Defense wins championships. Running game wins championships. Eagles have got both in bunches. And I believe it was actually Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. They were talking about it the other day. They're talking about the top ranked players in this year's Super Bowl. It was like top 25 players or something like that. And while Kansas City has got Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, the majority of the rest of the list are Eagles players, which tells you that outside of their superstar players of Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and there's a lot more of a complete team on that other sideline for the Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. I will say this to anybody thinking this is going to be a high scoring game. Remember what has happened to us every time we go into these Super Bowls thinking it's going to be a high scoring game. In recent history, I remember Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Everyone thought that was going to be high scoring. Ended up Tampa Bay 31, Kansas City 9, because Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. And then
they had no line, yeah.
Seattle, Denver. We thought that was going to be a high scoring affair. Seattle ended up beating the best offense in the league, 43-8. And then recently, even like the Rams Cincinnati game, I didn't really expect that to be high scoring, but it was 23-20. So I'm going to say 17-7 Eagles over the Chiefs. I don't think that I don't think that Mahomes is as healthy as maybe people think he's going to be, because I know after every single throw, when he got off his platform and he ended up
limping,
stepping on that foot or on that ankle, I should say, he was hurting going back to every single huddle. And Cincinnati's defense is not the same as the Eagles' defense. I think the Eagles have got a better defense. I mean, when Ndamukong Suh is a backup rotation player, that tells you everything you need to know.
And Jordan Davis.
So I'm picking the Eagles 17-7. That's my score. I'm sticking to it because it hurts so good. That's right. So we are going to toss it over here now. Nate's just shaking his head. He's like, oh my goodness. But we are going to toss it over now to something new that we're doing. This is going to be our final segment. And this is where we're going to teach you a defense. Yeah, that's something that we're trying to do this off season, is show you what's going on schematically so that when you do have a complaint or you are frustrated about something, you actually know what you're frustrated about. So I'll have Nate share his screen. I'm going to pin Nate here, and Nate, take it away.
All righty. I'm hopping to it right now so we can get to this. I should have already had it ready, but
it's there now, but don't.
Okay. So, everybody, I want to introduce you to the 4-2-5. So, this is primarily the defense for what we was running. So, right now, we're going to don't even pay attention to nothing up top. I'm going to move this up. We don't even need to know that. That's just going to be your offensive linemen and where they go. So, my bad. We're going too far. Here we go. So, we're going to start here. So, each one of these, I'm going to tell you what these positions are and who on our defense plays these positions. So, we're going to start here, E, which means end. So, you got two ends. So, you've got Aiden Hutchinson on the left. You've got, toward the end of the year, you had James Houston on the right. In the middle, which are your tackles, you got Aleem McNeil on the right. You had John Kaminsky on the left. Now, you drop down to the R. The R is a rover slash strong safety. So, this position right here was manned by Mike Hughes. So if people forget or not understanding why Mike Hughes was primarily on the line and things of that nature, this position right here, he took over for when our guy went out. When Tracy Walker went out, Mike Hughes got put into that position. So the C, of course, is the cornerback, which is he's in charge of that deep end third. Or if they're going man, that's going to be Jeff Okuda. Now, our wheel linebacker on the left, this is always Malcolm Rodriguez. On the right, Alex Anzalone. Of course, our free safety, our young free safety that took the defense and showed what he could do. He was already classified in the draft as a ball hawk, as a plug and play guy. He's always around the ball. That guy was Kirby Joseph. So now over here we did this S. Now a lot of people probably think this S means safety. No, it doesn't. It means Sam. It's still a Sam backer in the 4-2-5, but basically that's what you call a box safety. So this is where Deshaun Elliott comes in. So this is why you always seeing Kirby Joseph on that deep hash, and Deshaun Elliott was at the line. And of course, this other corner right here was Jeff Okuda. I mean, not Jeff Okuda, I'm sorry. Jerry Jacobs. After Awarie completely shit the bed and had one of the worst regressions of any corner I've ever seen. God, he was.
You mad at that, Nate? Huh?
Yeah, I've never seen a corner regress that much. That's what I say. Dude had to have some personal stuff going on, or something that was completed a whole lot of blockage, because that was crazy. I've never seen a corner regress that bad.
He was not just the ass, he was the titties too. He was ass and titty.
You so childish.
Man, he ain't shit.
So now everybody, now that you understand again, we're going a quick recap again. Our free safety, Kirby Joseph. Our corner, Jerry Jacobs. Our Sam backer, remember, in the 4-2-5, the S does not mean safety. This is your Sam. Essentially, it is your safety, but he is responsible for helping to, help the outside containment, help the blitz.
So Kirby Joseph mostly playing a single high safety, right?
Yep, there you go. Look, there go, but I remember I scouted Bobby out a long time ago.
Shut up, man.
I scouted Bobby. I scouted the shit out of Bobby. And look, next summer I get a message, dog. I'm finna start coaching the little league.
My dude is doing that. Yeah, he's still doing that too.
Right. And so now our Mike backer, which is still Alex Anzalone. So each one of these, if hopefully you guys can see it, but as you see, it's just a hook and a curl. So this backer here, he's in charge. If I had a diagram, this area here. So this is your hook and curl area. So basically, if this is your line of scrimmage, he's dropping back 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, and he's basically patrolling the area between the center and the defensive end. So this Y up here is actually would be your tight end, whether the tight end's on the right or the left. But our Mike linebacker is in charge for this area, and he's also in charge of this deep flat, this inside flat here. So if they set up a screen or something, this is why you always seen Alex Anzalone shooting that gap. It all depends on his depth from the line of scrimmage. So same thing, opposite side, Rodrigo, same thing, hook and curl, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. And remember, in the beginning, me and Elijah was telling you guys about getting depth. We always talk, because these guys, you got one safety. It's always, as Bobby said, hey, you got one, you pretty much have a single high safety. So these guys have to be fast, and they have to get depth from that line. They have to get depth when you're running this 4-2-5. And so this rover right here, which is our strong safety, which was Mike Hughes, this is also why you're seeing him making a lot of tackles at the line of scrimmage. So essentially what they would do, they would blitz Mike Hughes. They would drop Deshaun Elliott sometimes to help in coverage, and they would roll Kirby Joseph over to help Okuda. So, especially if you guys remember, prime example, the Packers game, the last interception that Aaron Rodgers threw. I actually remember he threw two, but they called one back, and both times he tried to hit Adam Jones. So Adam Jones
on that wheel, it was a wheel route, right? A wheel route.
Yeah, exactly. And so the wheel route, and so on the wheel route, you had Adam Jones coming up, and the corner was playing man. So they would use a stop route on the wide receiver and try to dump Adam Jones over the top. But Kirby Joseph was sitting here back here patrolling, and he took that deep end away. So they was taking that deep end away, and that's the beauty part. You blitz your nickel corner, your nickel safety, and then they would drop the other safety back as he rotates over.
Now,
so,
Nate,
go ahead.
Just a question here, because I know some people are going to want to ask this.
And actually, anything you guys want to know, make sure, man, put it in the comments. If you're not sure, if you want to know more about it, if there's anything, hey, you may be looking at it a different way. Feel free to comment, jump in the comments, man. And hey, I promise you, we will go through this, all off season, so you guys will not be lost. I told these guys, hey, we got one of the best read and react defensive ends in Aiden Hutchinson, and we've seen that with 3 interceptions. So, hey, don't be shy. Jump in the comments. Go ahead, Eli.
So I'm going to call it a rover, and I don't think that's the correct term.
It is. It is.
All right, because I'm a former quarterback, so I'm looking at it a little differently. So anyway, on the rover spot, can you explain what the breakdown was now that we have it on the screen? Can you explain what the breakdown was in that Philadelphia Eagles game or really any game when we faced a mobile quarterback? What was happening and why they kept running for 10 to 15 yards on us?
Well, there was multiple problems with that because, number one, we were losing. So our 2 ends, number one, you're supposed to have that containment. And number one, our ends were getting up too far. They were pushing too far. You're going against one of the best offensive lines. So they were pushing our ends so far up the field that they got all this open area. So what they would do is, instead of having our rover, which is this guy, sit right here in the middle, he was stuck looking out here looking crazy. Reason being is because Awarie was getting killed on the crisscross. So Awarie was coming from here, or AJ Brown will come from this side of the field and come all the way over here. So we have this guy, our corner, and he's going this way. Our rover, truthfully, was in no man's land. Truthfully, he was completely in no man's land, because when you have a mobile quarterback and he has that much time, so think about it. You've got 2 corners, and let's say a wide receiver is here. This guy's getting enough time to run a post. So he's going up, let's say 10 yards, and he's daggering straight across here. So our safety, number one, he wasn't getting enough depth because everything was over the top. Nothing was in front. So again, this was the area and the learning curve of Corey Joseph understanding his depth. Because remember, Eli, we told him our safety has to get deep.
Right.
Because again, when you're a single high, you have to be the deepest of the deep. You're not supposed to get beat over the top.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. But again, we have a new guy here, and Mike Hughes, who's never ever played this position. Keep in mind, Mike Hughes is a former corner. He's never ever been at the line. So before Tracy Walker went out, this was his spot. So Tracy Walker has the ability and speed and the know-how to say, hey, I'm going to sit right here and I'm just going to patrol this area. so that when Jalen Hurts darts through,
You
like
can meet
he
him.
screwed us up, like it was
You
just
can meet
wide
him.
open.
Okay.
You had a lot of inexperience and a lot of, like I said, because the Rover, he really, so as it says here, it says flat defender, meaning he's supposed to shield and stop everything that's going from the sideline to the middle of the field. Well, actually to the inside of the right
Hash.
Oh. Yeah. Well, it depends. We just say to the inside and into the inside of the tackle box.
Right.
You know, so he's relatively got 10 to 15 yards. But this is why it was so imperative for us to have speed. Because think in mind, remember, you've only got 2 linebackers.
Right.
So you've got 2 linebackers and you have all this space here that you want these guys to cover.
And you also got Jalen Hurts waiting for that second he turned his back where he can go. If he look away from him, he gonna go right through there too. Because they was killing us. His ass is killing us on the run too.
What he did and how he changed it. So this here, ironically, remember he had that game where he was in the 0-1. He kept running that 0 blitz. We talked about this in our meeting, and everything is squared up across the top. Everybody's squared up. Everybody's a single man. You've got 1 safety, and it's killed us. I mean, it killed us. For every long run we got beat by, we kept saying, why is he blitzing? Why does he keep doing that? As you see, you got 1, 2, you got 3, 4, 5. Now, you're 31. So this is the key. This is your Rover now is on this side. Your safety's here. You got your 2 corners. This guy is still in the middle of the field. But if everybody's this is your line of scrimmage, who's watching this? Opposite side. Who's watching this? So if this guy is this close to the doggone line of scrimmage, when they run a dive play, they hit him with a trap. They hit him with an inside run, which is called belly. When he came through here, keep in mind, you got 1 end, you got 1 end here, and you got your tackle. So this would be Lance Johnson out here. Guess what? He don't need no help. You got Kelsey right here. So these guys, they double team this 1 tackle, and you've got Panay 1-on-1 with Lance Johnson, and then of course they have their tight end, who pretty much is just there. But when they hit these holes, that is a huge gap.
Yeah,
That's even on this diagram, that tells you how big of a hole that is.
So why call that defense then?
Well, because one of the things about it is that the Lions thought at the time that they had corners that were fast enough to jam the wide receivers so that these ends and this blitz could get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That, again, you're that close to the line of scrimmage, that quarterback's maybe got 2 seconds.
2.5.
2.5, maybe 3. But you know what this defense is susceptible to? An inside run, a dive, a belly, or a draw. Because everybody's getting up the field, you holding it, and this guy darts right in between the tackle and the guard, between the end and the tackle.
I'm getting shades of Carolina, Nate.
Yeah.
Right to the house. See, and that's what I'm saying. And that's the downside. Now keep in mind, this is only the cover 3, and so he was blitzing out of this. And everybody, as you see, lined up directly across. If you go back literally to the Carolina game, you will see this right here. Everybody's lined up right across, close to the line of scrimmage. Now keep in mind, the 4-2-5 is essentially supposed to be good for stopping the run. because you've got more speed on the field with 5 defensive backs. You're supposed to be able to stop the run. But guess what? That was when the 4-2-5 was originally thought of, and the athletes weren't athletes of today. So, you know, none of that, you never thought you would see quarterbacks running 4.3s and running backs that are 240 pounds, you know, running the ball the way they do. Now, it does help when you have people and they start to get an understanding of what they're doing. And I'm going to switch over.
But I just want to throw this out there. You got to remember this too, Nate.
Go ahead.
They ain't got no vets out there to make sure they in the right spot.
This is
out
true.
there with them. They got
Right.
a bunch of new dudes all learning.
So important for
Tracy Walker, really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not even just Tracy Walker, but for Deshaun Elliott,
yeah,
you know, to really, really keep up with it. This is why, I mean, it was so important. And I was like, oh my God. Like, you never really pay attention to it. But that's what I was saying. This entire defense is young. And for them to come into it, so this is a guy, I'm not even sure. I don't even know if I should do this. I think this is the audio. And I don't want to get hit with copyright. So I just thought about that. We're going to stop that. We're not even going to do that.
Disappointed. He looks so disappointed. He's
Hey,
like, I was going to be on the hunt, and then they cut me.
No, absolutely.
That shit don't work. That's how it looks.
Look, I just thought about it. We're not even about to do that.
Oh no, we don't get hit with copyright infringement. There we go. Thank you, Nate.
Right. No, we're not being right. But but that's just, you know, the starting basis of the 4-2-5. As we go on throughout, I'm going to be breaking down the NASCAR package. We're going to break down exactly how each guy fits into this 4-2-5 and how they changed it. You know, because again, he came up with this NASCAR package. It started out, you know, with Julian Ograwa and Charles Harris on the outside, and completely by the end of the year, you had James Houston, who had 8 sacks as a rookie, something like that. You know, John Kaminsky, Aleem McNeil, and Isaiah Buggs completely destroying the middle. You know, you had your 3 technique and your 1 technique. So next week, we will be getting into the techniques because me and Elijah, we got caught throwing those numbers out. I know the guys are like, what is that? What is a 3? What is a 1? What is a 5? So we're going to break down the number techniques and how they are aligned and what they are, you know, what their true responsibility is. Each one has its own gap, whether it's an A gap, B gap, C gap, whatever. We're going to get down into that. So, y'all, this is welcome to the 4-2-5 defense of the Detroit Lions. So, we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to pass it back to Elijah.
All right. Thank you very much, Nate. And yeah, again, a fantastic job. Hopefully I was asking some of those questions that you wanted answers to. That's what me and Bobby hope to do whenever Nate is taking us to school like that. But again, leave your comments down below of things that you want Nate to discuss, because the point of this is, again, if something goes wrong, and let's be honest, we all hope nothing ever goes wrong on our defense, right?
Right.
But if something goes wrong, you will be able to actually point out what went wrong instead of saying, oh, that player's stupid, which none of them are stupid. They wouldn't be in the NFL if they weren't smart. As you just saw,
exactly.
There's a lot to think about.
It is. It's a lot, man.
So you'll be able to do that. It'll also make you better at your mock drafts, because we know fans love to do mock drafts. You'll be able to say, this guy actually fits our scheme, and you'll know what the hell you're talking about. So that's what we're trying to do. And listen, when it comes to the techniques, I will tell you honestly, when I was coaching, I didn't know about the techniques because I'm an offensive guy. So I actually had a player one time right before a game say, Coach, am I supposed to be lined up as a this technique or that technique? And I went, what the hell are you talking about? So don't feel bad. Don't know them. Okay. I'm going to be taking notes next week too. All right. But anyway, we've gotten to that point in the show where we do our closing remarks. So I'm going to start off with Mr. Bobby Bless. Bobby, closing thoughts, my friend.
Great episode, guys. Y'all always, I got a history lesson. I got a lesson in defense. Y'all guys be teaching me. So now I'm about to use my Detroit Lions controller and figure out what we was just talking about. Maybe I can. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, man. Nothing but PlayStation and my sites for me. How about you guys?
You know dang well he's going to engage 8 the entire game. Engage 8 with press. That's what I do.
Oh, yeah, and with Kirby Joseph at single high safety, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Nate, closing thoughts, my friend.
Man, again, man, another great episode. Sorry we missed our guy, Reggie. But again, congrats on Cuz and his new, endeavor, being able to support and do, what he feel that he need to do. So congratulations, Reg. Episode wise, man. I love it. I like, this is what we do. This is what we designed this for. Who thought we would be in season 2, man? So got a very good history lesson. Of course, Bobby and his merchandise. I'm like, hell, Bobby, that's what you should do. See if we can actually find some of them old school jerseys, because I know Mitchell and Ness do the basketball. I wonder if they do throwback Lions, throwback football jerseys.
Yeah, from the 30s and shit. Oh my God. Okay. I see what I can do.
Hey, listen. Hey, you will be the number one. Hey, look, undisputed Lions fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna bust out with that red boy. That's what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have that red boy.
Hey, listen, right? And can't nobody ever say the Lions weren't red. Like you say, hey, that's proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Eli, what you got, dog?
Well, I just want to say thank you again to both Bobby and Nate for all the hard work they put in to every single episode on this show. Also want to thank Reggie as well. Want to wish Reggie the best of luck in his new endeavor. He will be back on the show, so I want to make that very clear so people don't think he will be back on the show. He just had to work tonight. So we plan on getting him back on. And again, want to congratulate him on that new job. I know he had been really hoping that would come through, and it did. It did. So very happy for him. Folks, that is going to do it for our episode here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, we are 22 subscribers away from being able to finally give away that Apple Series 3.
Deuce.
That's
22, right. Y'all. 22.
So
hey, the faster we get to 22, the faster I get a free watch, because I know y'all ain't got as many as me. Y'all ain't been on it.
That sounds like a challenge. Hey, 22 subscribers. That's what we need. So, hey, go get us some subscribers. Make sure they're telling us that you're the one that sent them too. Right. So you get the credit. That way Nate doesn't get to watch. All right. So, hey, I'm rooting for you.
Go get
people. I'm rooting for you. But again, congratulations to Reggie. And we hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, we'll see you next time here.
Bobby
Bless, Nate Rucker, and myself, Elijah Winfrey. Talk to y'all very soon. Go Lions.